guys, welcome back to the channel. It's JoJo here, your joyous genealogist, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here for another part of the Covenant Keepers. This is going to be part 7 of the Covenant Keepers by Sister Wendy Watson Nelson. And if you're new to the channel, I've been covering this book by Sister Wendy Watson Nelson. You can pick it up on Deseret Book, or you can also get it on Amazon. I listened to the audio, and I'm going over the ebook here in this video. So I've separated it through parts instead of chapters because she doesn't really have chapters in the book. It's more like just parts, sections. So I'm just doing one, maybe 2 sections per video and then numbering that section. So this will be section or part 7. And if you want to, go back and listen to part 1 all the way up to this one. They're really good. There's a lot of good nuggets. My favorite section so far was probably the last 2, part 5 and 6. Some of them are an hour long. Some of them are shorter. This one's going to be shorter because it is pretty late tonight and I've got to get to bed. But I wanted to get this out to you guys. So I hope you're enjoying it. If you've enjoyed me covering the Covenant Keepers, let me know in the comments that you've liked this, what I've done as far as like kind of covering the series, I guess you could say. And if you'd like me to cover more material that I find that is relative to temple and family history work. So since that's what this channel is about, I'm going to keep it relevant to that as much as possible. So feel free to always send in your pictures or stories of you going to the temple with your family or being converted to the gospel. I would love to talk to people who have been, who have a conversion story, just like, we all do. So I would love to hear those. So the last time I did a video on this book was part 6, and it's been several weeks. When I started the video, I was talking about a little bit what was going on in my life, and I'm just going to kind of catch you guys up. So when I did that video, it was, my stepmom was really ill and was in the hospital and was getting ready to pass. And so I kind of talked about how that was going. And my dad had passed away in December and she passed away in January. And so, yeah, it's been several weeks. I don't even know how long. And then the church had the funeral last night, and no, I did not go. And if you've missed some of my previous videos about this, my parents, it was a very toxic, abusive relationship throughout my childhood and throughout my adult life. So things have been kind of like, I don't know, just processing it all has been interesting, I should say, has been interesting processing it all and just trying to move forward and just try to move forward, not be angry, and just try to forgive. And I've had angry moments and things like that. So just trying to find peace in my life now since that chapter is officially closed for good, and move on. So that's what happened with that. If you watched part 6 and you were like, so what's going on? That's where that is. And I don't know, like, I think it's kind of good for me to talk about it because I can go back and watch these sometime down the road and maybe, I don't know, it might be healing or something, but to kind of see like where I was at, how I was feeling during each step of the way, since I've journaled about it, but I also have this video to look back on for myself if I want to. So it's just been an emotional roller coaster. That's probably the best way to put it. And I don't know if you have parents that were great, loving parents, or if you went through tumultuous, I don't know how to say that. I want to say it, but now I'm going to mess it all up. So forget about it. But if you went through trials in your life where you didn't have the best home life and you can relate, then you probably know what I'm going through. And you probably know some of those emotions I'm having. So luckily, we have a loving Heavenly Father and Mother that I can't wait to return to and live in eternity with. So it's good to know about the gospel of Jesus Christ. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't have the peace that I do in my heart, for sure. For sure. So, all right, you guys. So let's get started on Covenant Keepers. And I will try to remember to put the link in the description below. Remember to like the video and please share it with somebody. There's so many people who need help with genealogy that we go to church with, that we live with in the same home with. We need to reach out to people. I'm realizing that there's a lot of people that really don't know how to do the genealogy, don't even have a tree set up or anything like that. So please share this channel with your friends and family for me, you guys. And we just pray that it will help inspire them to do some of their work. So in section 7, we're at 3 truths that changed my life. And the last paragraph I'll read to you guys from the last section. It says, I have experienced for myself that the Lord will provide everything we need to be successful in doing family history work. And with the temple work related to it, including the inspiration, the information, the energy, the answers, the proxies, and even the time and the desire, all we have to do is ask and show that we are serious and wanting to help. And so that's where we left off in the last video. I'm going to drink real quick. All right. So the three truths that changed my life. Within the first 2 weeks of trying this new approach to family history, I learned 3 things I can never forget. Those on the other side of the veil, or on the other side, are very much alive and perhaps not at all that cheerful about being called dead. Those on the other side are eager. No, actually, they are desperate to receive their saving and exalting ordinances, and they know when and where the ordinances will be done for them. Let me tell you of an experience we had. It has become part of my husband's morning routine to ask me if I have any ordinance cards or any family ordinance request forms that he can drop off at the temple before going to his office. One morning, he left with ordinance cards we had prepared for 76 people who were ready to make covenants with God and be baptized. One of those people was Annie McIntyre. When my husband had returned to the temple later in the day to pick up the cards after the young men and women had completed the proxy baptisms and confirmations, he was told that a remarkable experience had occurred in the baptistry that day. As the young woman who was to be baptized for Annie McIntyre looked at Annie's name, she remembered the dream she had had that night before. And her dream was a woman named Annie McIntyre. The young woman had never heard the name before and didn't give it a second thought after waking up. But in the baptismal font, when she saw and heard Annie's name, the young woman burst out, I know this woman. She came to me in my dream last night and said that I would be baptized for her today. Yes, indeed, our young women will dream dreams and see visions. So there's a little footnote with this section I want to show you guys. So in the scriptures in Joel 2, chapter 2, verse 28, it says, And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And then in Acts 2, verse 17, it says, And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So there we have 2 prophecies. I have to switch my glasses. I'm having a hard time reading with those ones. We have 2 confirmations there. Not 2 confirmations, 2 prophecies of in the latter days, our women and men, young and old, are going to see visions. And I know there's a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I know there's people that see visions in the temple, that have dreams. I've had a vision in the temple. I've had one, but I don't have dreams. But I know there's a Rebecca Lyons, who I watch her YouTube channel from time to time. She has a lot of really in-depth dreams, and I know there's a lot of people that do. I'm just not one that does. So I think that's really cool. And that's just proof that we are in the latter days, right? And that not only that, but that it's so important that we keep our appointment to the temple. Like, I remember President Nelson saying in one of the conferences last year to make and keep our appointments with the Lord that we make in the temple. And I've been guilty. I'll agree that I've made appointments and canceled it, like, oh, it's fine, like I'll have it and then I'm like my day's just like too crazy or something and then I just won't go. And so that used to happen. And since he said that last year, I believe it was, I've been pretty good. I've canceled I think twice, but I've been pretty good about keeping my appointment on a regular basis. So like I make sure if I'm going to make it, I'm going to take it. I'm going to go there. So this shows you, so because I think about this, you guys, is that ever since he said that, it makes me think that what Sister Nelson is saying is true. Because before I even read this book, I thought that. I was like, you know what? What if I like made this appointment and I ended up canceling, and this ancestor knew that I was going to take their name that day, and then I didn't go, and what a letdown that was for them. So I think about that every time I go to the temple. I think about who I'm taking. I pray about who I'm taking and try to get a feel for who's ready to partake in those covenants, in those, or to be, that's been taught and is ready to say yes, right? Who's ready to accept the covenants. And or I should say, who's ready to make the covenants and partake in the ordinances. I couldn't get that out. I can talk. It's just getting late. So I do think that they are there waiting for us, the ones that are ready. And about a month ago, somebody told me in the temple, a temple worker told me that one of the counselors to the president of the temple was there early in the morning, and he was like walking down the hallway and he kept brushing up against people, and he didn't see anybody there. There was nobody on his left, there was nobody on his right, nobody but in front of him. And so he turned around and he looked, and he said he saw just a ton of people all around him, and he had to walk sideways to get past them in the hallway. So yeah, they're there waiting for us to step in that door that day and do their ordinances. So I might not be able to see them, but I've definitely felt them. So if you can get to the temple and make an appointment, try your hardest to keep that appointment that you make, because we're letting people down when we don't keep it, right? Yeah, I just don't want to be disappointment to anybody, you let alone like the Lord, right? So, yeah. All right. So after completing, okay, where was I? Okay, so after completing Annie's proxy baptism, the young woman was confirmed for several women, including Annie. During the proxy confirmation of Annie, the young woman experienced an overwhelming rush of emotion as she heard Annie McIntyre's name again. She knew that feeling was a confirmation that Annie was grateful for her work, her work had been done. Annie McIntyre had, by proxy, made her baptismal covenant with God that day. She had been baptized and confirmed a member of the Lord's church. Annie's prison gates had been unlocked. And covenants, and only covenants with their associated ordinances, have the power to unlock the gates behind which our ancestors live. So as a wonderful as wonderful as it is to know stories about Grandma or Annie, for example, that she loved peaches and poems, if we don't do whatever it takes to ensure that she has the privilege to make covenants with God and receive her essential ordinances, guess what? Grandma or Annie is still in prison. And I'm not just sure just how long she's going to be cheerful about that. And let me tell you something. A week ago, Friday, we went. My husband's brother passed away 10 years ago in November. It's been 10 years. And I thought for sure by now my husband would be a member of the church. Well, I mean, I thought, well, I'll save Joey's name until my husband could do the work, because I would hate for my husband want to do it and then I'd already done it, and he's like, oh man, I really wanted to do it. But I talked to my husband about it and I was like, I didn't realize it's been 10 years since your brother passed away. Can I go ahead and do his ordinance for him? And he was like, yeah, you better do him, because I was like, yeah, he's probably not too happy. He's probably been waiting and he's not too happy that I haven't done them, right? So Jesse was like, yeah, you better get him done then. So sure enough, a week ago, last Friday, I think it was, we went and did Joey's, and we did Joey's grandparents and great grandparents. So great grandparents and great grandparents were all there that day, and you could just feel how special it was for him to finally, get him done. And I don't think he's mad at me. He's just thinking, why did you wait so long? But so anyways, I bet he's cheerful now, right? And he's had his initiatory. And so next he's getting his endowment on March 1st. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be there for that. So if you haven't been to the temple yet with the new changes, go. It's really, really neat. I have done every session from baptism all the way through since the change. And there's slight changes in the other, for the other ordinances, but it is really, really very spiritual. And I'm excited for you to go and experience it for yourself, because it's a really good teaching. You just learn so much more. Things just keep being poured out to us, you guys. It's just really cool. So, and that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm obviously not going to get into anything sacred. So before I finish, let's read this last third thing she says. So the third thing I learned is that we are the only church on the planet with the power and the authority from God to perform these essential ordinances. We cannot share, divide up or delegate any part of this work to any other church. No other church has the priesthood keys, authority, and the power of Jesus Christ to perform these proxy ordinances. It is as simple and profoundly true as that. So, and I would just like to say, I totally agree with everything she just said. We have the privilege. We have been trusted with the priesthood power and the authority and privilege to do these sacred ordinances for our ancestors so they can take their covenants with the Lord. And, I know there's a lot of haters out there, and I feel bad for those that despise the church and hate the church, because they have no idea, no clue what this could do for them. And it just saddens me. But at the same time, it makes me rejoice, because I do know it's true, and I know it. And so we're so blessed to know so many powerful things, so many insights, so many truths, and to have the Spirit of the Holy Ghost with us all the time if we live our lives to possess it. I don't know if that's the right word. To possess it, I should say, to be able to have it with us, So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Are you liking this reading that I'm doing? Let me know. Let me know because I'll keep doing it. I like it. Um, I do. I like it. I like sharing stuff about the temple with you guys alongside doing tips and stuff. So I like both. Let me know what you think. If you'd like me doing both or not, then let me know what else you'd like me to do some videos on. I'm trying to fit in some things for Roots Tech, but like I said, this last like couple weeks, like my brain has been in other places. With what's going on. And so I'm going to get back in the groove of things, and I would like to do a video one week. I mean, like 2 videos a week, one doing some type of temple doctrine and then one tip a week, and then maybe more, we'll see. But I'll try to do the best I can. I have an interior design business that I'm just starting up, and I have another company, a cleaning company, and I have this YouTube channel, and I go to the temple and do family history work all in my spare time, which is very slim. So I have to try to keep balance. And so that's why I've only been doing like 1 video a week, because that's about all I can handle, or I'll be stressed out. But if I could do this like all the time, I would, because I really enjoy doing genealogy more than anything on the planet. So that's about it. All right, you guys, take care. I hope you really liked this. I hope you can feel the spirit. That's the whole point, is just to feel inspired to do family history and temple work. So let me know if you felt inspired. That's the whole point. That's all I want, is you guys to feel inspired to do more and to reach out to your family and friends to do more. So, all right, stay good, be blessed. Till next time, guys. Bye. Remember to like the video.